Can you imagine waking up and you hate your life because the person that you picked was wrong? You have a say in this. So I've had some girlfriends and they've asked me questions like, how should I respond to this text message? How should I be? What can I do to get him to like me more? What can I do to, snag a high quality man? And I always say this and they hate it. It's you need to work on yourself first. You need to objectively look at yourself. You need to go to therapy. You need to figure out why people are not sticking around. You need to figure out how to communicate better. Overall, you just need to work on yourself. And I know a lot of my girlfriends really hate that, but I'm just going to say it right now. Like, you need to level up. You need to always be working on yourself. I'm not just talking about physically, I mean like mentally too, emotionally, intellectually. You need to become the best version of yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to attract a high quality person. Having a husband, a boyfriend, life partner, or father to your children, this is a very important decision and you shouldn't rush into it. You need to take the time to think clearly. And this is why I say you need to work on being your best self, because if you're maladjusted, if your traumas are coming out, if your intuition is off, you need to be able to navigate this landscape very well, because the person that you end up with is going to dramatically impact your life, be it good or bad, and that is your choice. You have to think, if you are dimmer with him, then he is not right for you.
To all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for watching and commenting and everything that you do. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, please consider subscribing as it really helps my little channel grow. Okay, bye.
There's no better time than now to talk about this, and I wanted to say, don't date out of desperation. For example, don't date because you need a place to stay, aka homosexual. Don't date because you need a meal because you're hungry. And don't date because you're bored or you feel like somebody can complete you. Those are just some examples. And the reason I can say that is because I did that. And when you are desperate, you don't make logical choices, you don't make rational choices, you rush into things, and you really ignore a lot of red flags and you ignore signs that show that you're incompatible with somebody. I did that, and that's why I can say don't date out of desperation. I don't recommend it because you're just selling yourself short, because you can do these things for yourself. If you can't figure out how to do it for yourself, then I don't suggest you date if you're looking for a life partner. It's just a lot. Figure out what you want in a relationship. If you want to just go have fun, date for fun. If you want to have a life partner, date to have a life partner. But those are two different strategies and two different ways that you communicate that. If you're a fun time girl or if you are a life partner slash wife girl. So those are two things you need to consider. It's super easy to be a fun time girl. I think I don't need to explain strategies on that. If you are looking for a life partner, the best tip I can give you is to aim to be self-sufficient. So you have your own place, you're making your own money, you have your own friends, you have hobbies, because that shows that you are a person of value and that you have other things going on in your life. It's sort of like the rule of supply and demand. If you have all these things going on, people will be gravitated towards that and they'll want to be a part of it. Also, other people that have other things going on will also want a partner like that. So they can still have their life and you can have your life. If you are leveling up and you have all these cool things going on in your life, you can see whether or not they add value or if they take away value. Okay, another reason why I say you should be leveling up yourself before you get into a relationship is you should know who you are before you get into a relationship. You should know about your hopes and your dreams, your wants and your needs, and not like according to what society tells you that you should do. because there's a lot of societal programming out there. And sometimes, okay, the societal program may work for you, but to be honest, the societal program works for the society as a whole. It's good for the good of all, but sometimes it's not good for the individual. So this is why it's so important to know what your needs are, what your desires are, who you are, like your hobbies, these things you want to try. And sometimes it's hard to figure this out when you have the influence of another person. But once you figure out some of it, you don't need to know all of it. But once you know some of it, when you are in dating mode or early stages of a relationship, you can bring it up and you can see how he responds. And if he talks down to you, if he doesn't ask you more questions about your hopes and dreams, if he doesn't find ways to support you with your hopes and dreams, this guy is not for you, because life is all about expansion and learning new things, experiencing new things, and enjoying life and loving life, whatever that means to you. You're literally gonna die one day and you don't want to regret any of the time that you wasted here. Can you imagine waking up and you hate your life because the person that you picked was wrong? You will have a say in this while you're dating. I don't suggest playing games. I myself really appreciate consistency, and other people do too. You need to be sure about who you are, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, your personality. Consistency is so important because you also help someone to feel safe because it's always the same. If you're confused about a guy, that guy is not for you. A guy, if he likes you, will make it very clear. Even if you are just, like, say, dating for fun and he sees wife material in you, which is rare, sometimes that can happen, and you tell him that you're not ready for a relationship, he will wait. A man who truly likes you will demonstrate that to you. And if he doesn't, then maybe there's some incompatibility there. For example, he will emotionally invest in you. And that is probably one of the more hard things to do for guys. It's easy for them to sexually invest in you, it is easy for them to monetarily invest in you because of the way society is now. They think, oh, if I just give women money, they will give up the goods. I mean, there's a lot of videos saying, look for this type of man, right? So tricksters would do that. A lot of women fall in love with words, and I did as well. And the best thing you can do is to hear those words and then see if the actions match. A lot of men will try to trick you, and I've had this happen to me. And because I was really sheltered and I grew up in very culty like household and also with religion, I was taught to blindly listen and trust these words that people say, as opposed to thinking, I wonder what their actions are. Do they match? And that is another thing you can also do is see if the actions match the words. If you're confused about a guy, then he's probably not into you. A guy that is really into you will try to improve your life. He will emotionally support you. He will be inspired by you. He will have more motivation from you. If a guy really likes you, you would know. Okay, if you have this, if you're with a guy and you really like him, and then you feel like you need to fix him or you need to cure him or you have to change him, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to be able to do that. There's probably something inside that's making you want to be with that type of person. And 10 out of 10, I recommend you looking at that part of yourself and asking yourself why. That person isn't going to change for you. They're only going to change for themselves. And when they're ready, I remember I dated this guy. I thought I could fix him. I had this like romanticized idea of like, he's going to change for me. It made me feel so special. That relationship didn't work out. And guess what? He didn't change for me, but when he did find another girl, he was doing all the things that I was asking him to do for me for her, and they even got married. So, this is the thing. When he's ready to change, he will change. It probably won't be for you. I'm talking about like big character traits. Why are you drawn to these type of men that need fixing? Do you really want to be with a guy that you're like nagging all the time, or a guy that you feel like isn't at your level? Maybe it's a power thing that you have, or maybe it's like what I had. I wanted to feel special. I wanted to be like, oh, he changed for me. But that's never going to happen. It's just so much easier to find somebody who is at your level or almost at your level or around your level. And I really wished women could see that. And it's way better to be alone than it is to be with somebody that you have to like nag all the time or complain about. I don't complain about my boyfriend. I love him so much. There are a lot of memes that are going around where like women complain about their partners. And there's, like a little monkey sipping the straw, and he goes, women complain about their partners while I'm sitting over here and I really need mine. And I need mine because he makes me better when I'm with him. And he's really improved my life. And I want that for everybody else. You have to think, is he making your life better or is he making it worse? Because, it is totally better to be single and miserable on your own than it is to be miserable with somebody else. Is he adding to your happiness? Is he solving some of the problems that you're talking about? Or, is he leveling up your lifestyle? This is why I said earlier it is so important for you to level up your own lifestyle to be at a good baseline that you enjoy. So when he comes, if he drops that, he's not for you. I've had that where like I dated a guy, I thought I liked him, and I just dated him because I needed love so bad, but he did that to my life, and that's how I knew it wasn't okay, and I had to cut it off. But I was young and naive, so that's why we're talking about these things now. Here's just a really small snippet. I feel like I probably should do a whole big video about this, about red flags, but the things that you ignore now are going to be red flags, really big red flags later in your relationship, and even could be the reason why you guys break up as well. I recommend paying attention to the signs early on in the relationship, things that make you uncomfortable. And if something makes you feel like, okay, I saw this meme. If something makes you feel icky or gives you the ick, then you don't like that guy. If one thing is enough to give you the ick, then you don't like him, and that's okay. The moment he gives you the ick, you should move on. You should find somebody that, no matter what, even if he has like silly things or gross things or quirks, that it doesn't bother you, that these things make you love him more because it shows his human side. And you deserve that too. If the guy is controlling you, telling you what to do, restricting you, all in the filter of love, and you feel like that is actually making your life worse, it's not making your life better, then he's not for you. A guy, when you're in a relationship, both of you should become better versions of yourself. And when you guys are together, you should love who you have become when you're in a relationship together. I didn't see this until now. So that's why I'm talking about it. I love who I am now and who I am becoming. And I love that I have the room to blossom and grow and try new things. And I do the same thing for him. I would hate to be in another restrictive golden handcuff relationship again. That's that's not a life partner, that's like a prison. When you're with in a life partnership, you have to remember it is a two-way street. You both, I know this sounds weird, you're both prizes in different ways, of course. You both of you contribute different things. It's like yin and yang. It's not just one person that's the prize, because also we're not goods, right? So with the two of you, you need to be better together. Otherwise, what's the point of being in a relationship? A good relationship at the end of the day, be it friends or partners, should empower you. They should not diminish your light, who you are, your hopes and dreams. They should help you grow. If you guys want more real insights, let me know.